Part 2 begins with a new gas tank. So we got to get that one popped off and get all this mocked up and put on there. Or once we get this pulled off, we got a few other things we're going to do. Got a few odds and ends I'm going to add. We got this little cell phone charger because, like I said, I'm planning on going on a pretty big trip here pretty soon. So being able to get navigated trails and all that fun stuff is going to be nice. And obviously got to charge the phone because when we camp, we're camping in tents, so don't have to be able to charge our phones. And on top of that, got some more cycle fire lights. If you haven't seen my little review video on these, on one of my last bikes that I had, I put this on every dual sport that I've owned. I'm on my third one now, so these are really awesome, super bright. I've zero complaints, so I will link the video up here to my old review of those, and you can check them out. We got those two. I've got a ram mount, the same as I have. I just don't have it yet. Same as this on the Harley I'm gonna put on there. So get that mounted up. Quick little breakdown. Obviously you wanna turn your gas off, all that. Gotta pull this cover off, get the seat off. So obviously you got the 3 quick connects, then you got the little strap bolt, and then the 2 main bolts underneath the fender for the seat to pop it off. And at that point, disconnect the gas line and the tank will come right off. Ta-da! With the little plastic fairings on here, they're not a huge difference in size, but obviously it being 3 gallons more, that's gonna be pretty awesome. Definitely be able to get more than double my mileage and all that. So, and I'm liking the fact that I don't have to use a key to get into it. That's kind of annoying, everything. So, all right, now we are on to the tank and get this thing kind of mocked up and ready. All right, we kind of looked over everything, looked over the instructions somewhat. I kind of feel like I got a good idea of how to put this thing together. This is obviously all the pieces that we have. Got them kind of laid out, somewhat organized. The only thing that you got to take from the original tank is going to be the big rubber piece for the bracket where it mounts up. Right on the end of the tank, right there. And that will go back over that. So make sure you save this from the old tank. Got to take this motor mount bolt right here out and install this with this bolt and the original nut that's on the other side of that. And we got to bolt these into one of these holes. I got to figure out which one it is. I got to read this real quick. But you put one on either side. It's probably this one right here, but bolt it here like this. And then this part will bolt to right here. So it'll be kind of like that when it's all said and done, or like this to the tank. So get those bolted up. Both petcocks got to be put on. And you got to wire it to the original fuel line right there from those two. And that's why they give you the extra fuel. We will zip tie this right here, somewhere right in this area. Put that zip tie on there and go ahead and just temporary it on here. Yeah, just kind of like that. So the tank will sit on that. All right, well, I have looked over and read all of these instructions. I don't know why, but it's not showing every single piece that I have right here. We'll figure these out at the end, but it looks like I got everything else pretty well figured out. I can even go ahead and mount this onto here. Let's get this installed.
Looks like it's gonna be
So remember, we got to use the original nut on that. So now we've got to install this on the top side of here. All this is in the way. This. It said a spacer, but I'm not seeing that is snug, unless it's because the bolt might be so long that it will need them. Come on, get in there. Alright, there's a lot sticking out, so maybe that's why it wants you to use the spacers. Do one here, one there. I do not feel good about that at all. There's enough threads there. I don't see how this is an issue. You're talking almost the whole length of that. Plenty. This must be for other models that may be bigger. Alright, let's get these petcocks installed now. Left side. Going there. Okay. So I went ahead and just kind of guessed these roughly the angle they need to be, and I snugged them down real tight because once this is slid on here, there is no room to get up in there, especially over here where the regulator is. You can't get in there to tighten the bolt up on this side especially. So I just go ahead and snug them up as tight as you can to begin with. And the other thing that's kind of concerning to me is the original tank mounts right here, especially the hard metal underneath there, is rubbing. I put it on here already once and pulled it back off, but you can see the indentions right there where that metal was pushing once it was on there. And it did it on both sides. I don't know if you can tell right here with that angle. The way the light is though, you can definitely see the little indentions. So over a prolonged period of time, that may cause issues, so I'm kind of concerned with that, but we're gonna go with it. And also another thing I noticed was the turn signals, and if you read way on down here, it suggests that you may have to move your turning signals to get your clearance and everything. So I'm gonna have to take this shroud off to do a bunch of other stuff for the wiring. So once I do that, then I can just pop these off, and then maybe I can make some kind of metal bracket to shift them up. But we shall see once we get to there. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick the tank on there. I know I said I was gonna go ahead and run all the wiring and everything, but this has become a headache. So it's definitely not easy. It's not just slapping a tank on. This is, I was able to do it by myself though, and I'll probably do it again just to kind of show y'all from a distance how I'm doing it. All right. I'm gonna fight this on here again and see where we get. There, as you can see, it's mostly on there. Good Lord, that's a big tank. But that's how close I am. I gotta get it further down on both sides. It's pretty much, oh, that was too close. Both sides are almost there. Whew. I made a slight modification and I'm thinking it's gonna work, but I cut half of these off. As you can see, cut a good bit of those off. I think that's gonna help because once I got it all the way down there, it was still just, I mean, it was hard fighting up under here on both sides. So we're gonna give this a try and give it a little more to play with. Might be hard to keep these on there, but we'll get it on. Excuse my heavy breathing, but I've been wrestling this thing. I heated it up for about 5 minutes in front of the torch heater, and I was able to get this side bolted down, which originally seemed like it was gonna be the hardest one, but now I'm on this one, and so far I've only been able to do that. When I pull this out, it goes back up just enough where I can't get a bolt in it, and the more I pull down on the tank, the more it pushes the arm in. So this may or may not be another person. I'm trying to do this by myself. I did read where some people said to put like warm water, boil water, whatever you want to do, warm it up, pour in the tank. Obviously it'll soften it up and everything. That's the reason why I just use a torch heater, because I really don't want to get water on there, get all the water out and everything. So once I get this bolt put in here, the only thing I'll have left is to connect the fuel lines, and it should be good to go, other than obviously the turning signal brackets are hitting the tank on either side, on both sides. So you do lose some turning there, so that's why you read where people are saying to make a different bracket that goes up higher to put those on there, because it's obviously the bracket that's the problem, not the actual turn signal itself. So let me get this other bolt, put it on the other side, and then we will start tackling that part. All right, we have victory. Now that bolt, and you can see the brace up under there that went all the way across from the motor mount. I had to kind of knock it down and bend it down just a little bit, heat this up, and we have this big ass tank on here now. So I went ahead, connected the fuel line to this petcock, and I ran it, you can see, just over the top of the carb, but to the left of all the cables, and nothing is going to make contact with them. So got that. Now we're gonna come over here, get the three-way. All right, that's all the way on. I just don't want too much fuel line to where everything gets kinked. Looks like I could possibly do that. So we'll cut this one about right there. I'd say I'm getting a little tired and or frustrated at the moment with how that tank install went. Whew, you want to talk about frustrating. Is going to be so clean. Oh yeah. Maybe rotate that a little bit. That's gonna be perfecto. Now we just need to install the zip tie, and a zip tie on the other side, and we should be able to add gas and give this tank a try. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this cover off so I can get in behind here easier, take all these off, and see what all I've got to do. Okay, we got this one taken off just so I could see how deep this turns in. It actually still, the triple clamp even makes contact with the tank all the way in too. So I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, you can see it's almost fully locked right there and it's hitting the tank. So yeah, this is what it is. So it looks as if we get a piece of flat metal drill the hole for this diameter and this bolt diameter, and then go straight up. Maybe we can bolt it there without it interfering with these cables, because they don't really move too much. As you can see, kind of like that. Yeah, this tank is way more work than you would think to be adding just a bigger tank. It's pretty involved. I can say that for sure. As far as everything that I used doing this install, there was a few little things left over, and I could not find anywhere for them to go. We've got this one spacer. I used one of them, and it was the main bolt that holds the original gas tank down. You put this spacer underneath that bracket and then tighten it down, fill that little void. But these were pretty much like they would only work for the new Allen head bolt that replaced the motor mount bolt for that weird shaped bracket. These are the only thing that it would actually fit on, but there was nowhere on my bike that I could have used these where it would have made any sense. If I had put it on either side of the other bolt, there wasn't enough threads to really tighten it down properly. So this is pretty much what we have left over from that whole kit. And then obviously this is what came off of the bike, and this came off the bike. So didn't reuse this and didn't use this. So that's pretty much what you're gonna have when you're done installing this tank. So, and here's satisfaction of an install. That pretty much concludes the installation of the 5.8 Acerbis gas tank for the Xr650l. Not too difficult. Obviously the hardest part was getting it stretched out around everything, and then kind of modifying that one little bracket. Kind of had to beat it down a little bit to give it more space. But it's all installed, so pretty cool. Like I said, we're working on the turning signal brackets. I've done got them made. They're up here drying, and then I can move them up and out of the way right here. So stay tuned for that. But yep, we'll get those bolted up and run the wires for all this stuff. But that's the 5.8 Acerbis gas tank. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all on the next part of the build.